Well, it's time now to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio journalist Charles Idaho and public affairs analyst Oladende Ario. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
You're looking...
Yes, I'm relocated.
He's trying to borrow Niger data.
I'm relocated to Bayelsa State.
You guys are looking good this morning. Thank you for joining us at TVC Breakfast. All right, let's head straight to the papers, and I begin with the Daily Trust. Akpakpa lockdown defies presidential intervention. And then we move to the Daily Times now. 4 days to D-Day. PDP APC set to battle in Bayelsa, Kogi. PDP to emerge victorious in Bayelsa by 65% as APC may take Kogi by 53%. To the blueprint, Bayelsa Kogi PDP government frees 100 inmates to use military uniforms, APC. Party agents luring voters with 20,000 naira each. Hoodlums burn down Kogi SDP secretariat. On the front page of this day newspaper, unending insurgency raises need for military to double troops. And on the front page of the Vanguard, gloom as power supply lags behind target by 7,454 megawatts, threatens federal government's economic and recovery growth plan. MAN, that's the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Lagos Chamber of Commerce, lament experts call for government's intervention. We'll be looking at that story shortly. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Sun, Okoje Onoyeko Naaba won over 2023 presidency, says security waning confidence in INEC, biggest threat to Nigeria's unity in next presidential election. Only competent persons deserve a vote. Naaba. All right, gentlemen, let's head back to the front page of the news Vanguard this morning, talking about power supply. Over the weekend, there was a grid collapse again, said to be the 11th this year, and it dropped from 4,000 megawatts, over 4,000 megawatts, to about 125, according to reports. And we had a target. Charles, gentlemen, we had a target. I wonder.
He used to work in PCN, so it's better he handles that.
I do. Please, I don't. I'm a journalist. So.
I mean.
Well, I think first of all, we need to look at what these problems are. It's an inherited problem.
Inherited?
No, what I mean by inherited is that it's been there for a long time. That it built off. Hold on, because what? No, but you asked me a question.
I'm holding on now.
You asked me a question.
I reject the word inherited.
No, you asked me a question.
Yes, and I'm holding on.
So it's a problem that has. I'm not using it the way APC uses it, inherited. No, what I'm saying, because I have covered energy before as a reporter, so that's what I'm saying. And I understand that it is the decaying infrastructure. There's no way you can build something new on an old foundation.
But we've been, investing so much.
But just hold on. But investing so much. Are you getting? No, hold on. Because that's the issue of when we had the issue of that was bandied about. We have $16 billion that was sunk into this and that and that. What we have now, for instance, when we had there was this ambitious projection for the economic recovery growth, for you to have about 10,000 megawatts to be able to drive economic recovery growth, right? Mm-hmm. But the problem, as we see, there are about three major problems. It's the decay, the unavailability of transmission infrastructure, unavailability of distribution infrastructure, and the unavailability of gas. These three things, these are the three sectors that are affecting the realization of that 10,000 megawatts. As we speak,
but that was the essence of the privatization in the first place. Isn't that? No, just answer that.
What?
That was the essence of the privatization. All of these problems.
Yes, no, hold on, because what they came, they meant infrastructure on ground. They were supposed to work with infrastructure. They were not supposed to build infrastructure immediately. Or you understand what I'm saying? Because you've always had NEPA that had that infrastructure over time. Then they came to take over the facilities and all the, whether it's the debt and all that. But over time, it is that decaying infrastructure is causing all this one, which of course I know it's not an excuse for those who took over the infrastructure. It's not an excuse. But where we are, how do we get from this point A to point B? I can tell you and I can show you that Nigeria does have the the capacity to generate and transmit about 13,400 megawatts. But it is those 3 areas I mentioned that there's
let's get Mr. Ario's perspective, because he's been itching to speak.
Because I cannot understand direction Charles is taking us.
Okay.
Those guys were brought in, things were not okay, they were brought in to better the laws and turn things right? Yeah. Now, how do you get it?
Government was giving them intervention.
They were even funding them.
Yes.
And then we complained that how do you buy a second-hand car from me and I'm giving you money to run the car? I mean, it's basic common sense.
Absolutely. If
everything was right, we in the first place have no need bringing them on board. For me, corruption has been the major problem, making power supply ineffective.
In what aspect now when you talk about corruption?
So much funds have been made available to expand generation. Okay? You will hear that there is a badge or something or whatever. They have these technical names they use to describe the equipments that they are at the seaport awaiting clearing. Till date, it's all story. You and I know that our transmission facility is old, weak.
And who is in charge?
Wait, immediately those guys came in.
Government, yes.
Exactly.
Government is in charge, yes. You will have expected some measure of intervention in that area because we suffer so much leakage. Again, funds were allocated for all of these things.
Where is it?
Okay? The funds reflected that they've been spent, but we're not getting value for our money. When we now come to discos, what are they distributing? They don't know how generation takes place.
There's been a blame game between the transmission and the discos.
The discos come and tell us that they are not getting enough power from the Genco. And the Genco also has leakage issues and all of that. And you keep wondering, why has it become so intractable? I'm not a small boy anymore.
Absolutely.
The last time I enjoyed power in this country was over 40 or 50 years ago.
My goodness.
And progressively, the problem has continued to grow instead of abating. There is never a year that we don't throw a large chunk of our resource
into this
thing, but we can't resolve it.
And we are looking at getting $3 billion.
So now, how do we grow our economy? It's a shame that in 1987, when I was going to open a salon business, the first thing I bought was a generator, not a clipper. Today, in 2019, nothing has changed. So we should begin to look at the fundamentals beyond all the disco, Genco, and all those initiatives that they've not delivered value to our lives.
Charles seems to have to
differ. You know what I was going to explain is that, look, he says he was mentioning, I apportioning blame. What I'm saying is that I looked at the factor responsible for this. He mentioned transmission. Now, who is in charge of transmission? It's government. Not the transmission was not privatized.
So, are you saying that if it was privatized,
government is also part of it.
Are you saying if it was privatized, it would have been different?
No, I'm not saying. Hold on. What I'm saying first.
No, I'm just asking.
No, we don't have problem. We don't have problem with generation. Okay.
But we don't generate enough.
No, sir. Hold on. What we have a problem with is the distribution and transmission. Now, if you generate enough, the infrastructure to transmit is not right. What do you do? So what I'm saying first that I don't work for. I don't even. If I quarrel with even Disco over time because of this over billing. But what I'm saying, because as a journalist, I need to look at the issue on ground dispassionately, irrespective of the fact that I'm not getting value for my money. But we need to identify this fault and provide solution.
That these problems have not been identified over the years
they
have been
to address it?
What I'm
because
saying
we are asking questions. The monies we've been churning into
where
is
the money?
The government has to have that political will to address the transmission. Because if you generate and you're not transmitting, you are wasting what you have generated. Then the disco cannot distribute.
Charles,
that's exactly so, because it's a tripartite relationship.
Yeah.
You have the one that will
generate,
the one
that will transmit, and the other that will distribute.
So if the transmission that is in the hands of government is not okay, then what would the Gencos do?
Can I just help you?
No, you're not helping me. Say yours.
Okay, those Gencos.
We need to wrap up now, so quickly.
The Gencos that could not effectively strengthen distribution network, if they were given transmission to handle, how would it have been?
Well, we're not there yet. Let's give the
come on.
Gentlemen, we have to leave it at this point. Thank you so much for your time and contribution on the newspaper.
Of course, it's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in newspapers this morning. I have with me in the studio journalist Charles Ideho and public affairs analyst Oladende Ario. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's look at the newspapers this morning. Of course, the Daily Trust is saying here, Apapa lockdown defies presidential intervention. That's in the Daily Trust this morning. The Daily Times says 4 days to go. PDP APC set for battle in Bayelsa, Kogi. PDP to emerge victorious in Bayelsa by 65%, as APC may take Kogi by 53%. Let's go to the blueprint this morning. It says Bayelsa, Kogi, PDP governors frees 100 inmates to use military uniforms, as according to the APC. The party agents, as the rider, party agents luring voters with 20,000 naira each. Hoodlums burned down Kogi's SDP secretariat. That's in the blueprint this morning. This day says unending insurgency raises need for military to double troops. That's in this day newspaper this morning. So we'll move to the Vanguard newspaper, where it says gloom as power supply lags behind targets by 7,454 megawatts, threatens federal government economic and recovery growth plan. Man, LCCI lament, experts call for government intervention. That's in the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Now the Daily Sun is saying here, Okoje Onayeko Naba won over 2023 presidency. The writer says security, waning confidence in INEC, biggest threats to Nigeria's unity in next presidential election. Only competent persons deserve our vote, says Naba. So we will stick with the story in the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, and it's talking about the Apapa gridlock. Apapa lockdown defies presidential intervention. Now we're saying this, gentlemen, that it defies presidential intervention. How do we solve this problem? Like, Apapa is a huge economic hub when it comes to business here.
If you know Apapa the way I knew Apapa, it's a limitless pain. Because all the roads, particularly Warehouse Road, the main Creek Road, they are no longer motorable. You can't even pass through because the parking of trucks there is consistent and how do I say, never moving.
It's not just the road, even the bridges.
No, I'm saying, even on the bridges. Now, the bridges have prescribed dead weight, above which they must not accommodate.
Yeah.
But they've been abused. And I have that fear that they may one day cave in if care is not taken. What I don't now understand is that why those cartels now have become so powerful that government cannot tackle them. What I came to know growing up is that you cannot confront government. But these ones, they are insisting and they are having their ways. And it's unfortunate. However, if you remember, Governor Fashola, way back, tackled them until he moved on, and then there was a change of baton. They now came back and became a lot more vociferous. So much that when the President Task Force was set up, with the guy that was appointed, former commissioner for transport, I was very sure that it would be a new day.
And he was the former commissioner of transport
and was active. So I thought it was going to be a new day for Apapa as a community. But hey, it's not so. The question now is, we have to go to the fundamentals. Why is Apapa so attractive that everybody must go there? The ports are there, we know. Then the tank farms are also there. There have been calls for other ports, interland ports, to be opened up, whereby they can divert cargo to those places so that Apapa can have a new breath of life.
Yeah.
I don't know why government is not thinking in that direction.
There is the, how do I put it now, tanker area at Mosimi, where tankers coming from Shagamu and the likes and get in. But we see that in this situation, these tankers prefer to go to Apapa because Mosimi, the road going to Mosimi, that's
no longer possible. If you've tried to go to Shagamu through Ikorodu, I mean, it's a nightmare. It's a trauma. Your truck may not survive the trip. So again, that pushes them to that place. And the fact that we've been surviving on imported petroleum products. Okay? Our refineries not operational the way they should be. Again, it's another reason why the vehicular traffic there, especially of tankers, are there. Okay. So we have to fundamentally dig, down and deep down into all the problems, and one by one, we need to tackle them. It's not a surface thing. Right, it's not an order or political will that can make things happen, or body language.
Let me talk to Charles on this. Charles, what's your take?
Yeah, mine is that the problem has gone beyond where what they call fiat. You give an order by fiat and expect the trailers to disappear in 24, even a week. Because whether you like it or not, those trucks that are bringing in empty containers, they must discharge them, and then they have to go there. Yeah. Those ones that are also picking from there, they also have to go there. Yeah. So what we need to do in the long run, we're looking for the enduring solution to this. There are ways, he mentioned the issue of also activating the other ports so that you decongest the use of the Apapa and the Tinkan port. Is to look at the Calabar port. The installed capacity, the use is quite very low. Even though it's waiting to receive cargo over there, to receive ships. If you do that, so that those are brothers from the east, the eastern Igbo traders and all that, they can use that, because even look at the geographical case of, they are very close. Yeah. So it will even be better for them. If we also look at on cocoa, the light badges and all that, you can also do that. So those ones with light ship can also go to cocoa on the rest of them. Then you can also acquire maybe a vast expanse of land around this Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Okay. Or you need to do that. Trailers should go to the
They refuse to use them.
No. This is what you do. Not just that. Don't allow them to drive to Apapa. All you need to do, I said, it's going to cost some money, is to build this short rail service. Okay, between maybe it may not be Ogere, maybe Mowe, for instance. Build a short, that's a trail line between Mowe and Apapa. So the cargo will be brought in by train. Train will return all those ones. All they need to do is to get in there, park, and then take away.
But so where would do we have holding bays to hold them?
No. You see,
because the trucks will still be one in a particular place. Where do we keep the trucks if we have
if you have a vast expanse of land, it can be done. It's a matter of being creative and doing what is. If you're looking for a solution, we need to also put this on the table and work across.
Nice suggestion anyway, but I would say it's not going to work. No, there was a trailer park in Orile. Okay. There was a trailer park in Orile created.
But was there a train to?
Wait. That's the train you are adding is a new dimension. Good. That's why I said it's innovative. But you see, installing railway tracks is not as easy as we want to look at it.
No, we can give it a 5-year plan.
Number two, there are private trailer parks along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. People hardly make use of them. Ogere Park by Ogun State government was established to accommodate all of these trucks.
So what happened to the container?
They don't leave. They don't
who brings the container to them?
Wait, that they don't leave that place until they are asked to come into the port, whereby they will just drive straight into the port and not have to cause any mayhem or delay or danger on the road.
But
you know, my people, that's why I told you there's a cartel behind all of this.
If you include this introduction of that short rail system, that will enable the system to work even better, more optimally, so that all these trucks do not have any access to the port.
In the short and medium term. In the interim, yes, we still have traffic in Apapa. Even if you talk about the long term where that might suffice, we still have the problem of the traffic gridlock in Apapa caused by these tankers.
No, there's something mentioned. It's about activating. It's a stopgap measure, right? If we can activate that you talked about Ogere and all of them, then there's a stricter compliance with if you don't have any business in Apapa at a given particular time. You don't have to go back.
So how do you handle the cabal that come there at illegal times?
Is government hiring the cabal?
No.
Is the government hiring the cabal?
Because
there was
I hear about cabal.
Listen,
is the government higher than the cabal?
Charles, that was a year.
The cabal hired the government.
That was a year. These trailer people, they blocked the expressway for hours.
So how do we handle this holistically?
We were coming from Abuja and we were stranded.
I talked about the political will.
I am telling you, we were stranded for hours.
Will.
Yes. And you know what happened? Robbers started attacking us because it was a long trail of who could not go.
Don't let us begin to think as if it's insurmountable.
We have not said so, but we are saying we have to be a lot more realistic and progressive-minded in our decision-making. I would rather our train system is improved such that containers or other goods can move more by the rail than by the road. Why we have so many bad roads in Nigeria today is because our roads are overused, overflowed. The regular traffic on them is it's uncalled for. Okay. It's too large.
All right, at this point we need to go. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for talking to us on this Papa Great Lock issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio journalist Charles Ideho and public affairs analyst Oladendi Ario. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us. All right, we begin with the front page of the Daily Trust. Akpakwa lockdown defies presidential intervention. To the front page of the Daily Times, 4 days to D-Day. PDP APC set for battle in Bayelsa, Kogi. PDP to emerge victorious in Bayelsa by 65% as APC may take Kogi by 53%. And on the front page of the blueprint, Bayelsa, Kogi, PDP government frees 100 inmates to use military uniforms, APC. Party agents luring voters with 20,000 naira each. Hoodlums burn down Kogi SDP secretariat. We'll be looking at the story shortly. Right to the front page of this day newspaper, an ending insurgency raises need for military to double troops. On the front page of the Vanguard, gloom as power supply lags behind target by 7,454 megawatts. Threatens federal government's economic and recovery growth plan. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria MAN, LCCI lament expert call for government's intervention. And on the front page of the Daily Sun, Okoje Onoyekon Naaba won over 2023 presidency, says security waning confidence in INEC biggest threat to Nigeria's unity in next presidential election. Only competent person deserves our votes. Naaba. All right, gentlemen, let's look at the forthcoming elections in Bayelsa and Kogi states. 4 days to go. As it is documented here in one of the papers. And we've been seeing INEC says it has done a risk assessment, that's in Kogi State, to look at the areas where there could be some flashpoints when it comes to issues of violence and all of that. And over time now, some days now, we have seen some level of activity in terms of the burning down of the SDP secretariat. I mean, so many issues. And then they signed a peace accord in these states. I wonder what really the peace accord was.
If I'm allowed to be petty, I will deride the use of the word battle as reported there.
Okay.
You see, we should stop looking at elections as a war. We've been preparing for elections here as if we are preparing for war. So when you say battle, you are lending credence to that mentality. It should be seen as a mere contest of people equal, whereby it is aimed at bringing out the best for the benefit of society.
But over the years, that is not what it has been. Perhaps that is why the use of battle has come.
What we should be thinking when we think of national orientation, people have to understand that the election is not a do or die affair. Okay? If you mean well, it is all about service, not about...
If you are qualified.
Not about lining your pockets. As long as you are qualified, and thank God for the Constitution, the qualification is very simple. It's not complex. We've been discussing that before we came on air. That said, burning SDP secretariat is a double jeopardy. I don't see them shaking the table in Kogi election So why burn the secretariat?
Because they are both from the same region in the state.
That's so, Kogi Central.
Yes.
I mean, they shouldn't have done that. I mean, the earlier we stop all of these things, the better for all of us. Because they scare away competent candidates. I won't go and contest if I'm not sure my life will be saved.
That's why it's battle.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why it's a battle.
So we stop seeing elections as battles and wars.
Yeah,
but that's what it has become. That's what it has become.
But if you are saying that you wouldn't want to be part of the electoral process because of the violence,
now
then
that's the major. That's a major issue.
If we
Voter
come
apathy,
and we resort to getting physical.
Yeah, well,
but
sadly, that's what it has become. Yeah, I like your utopian expectation, where elections should be like celebrating a festival. All right, we are going to elect a crop of new leaders that are going to direct us, that are going to direct our affairs, that are going to also enjoy the collective mandate of Nigerians to be able to give us, deliver good dividends. That's a real expectation, which is utopian, as I said. But when you look at the take home, when you look at what you get,
over the years.
So there's no way you can fight. If you fight to get in there, you know that once you leave, because politics in Nigeria have become an industry, a very thriving industry. Most people who can run businesses very effectively and profitably, they get in there maybe through Godfather or so, they become overnight billionaires. And then you want them to go back again to the status quo where they can't run businesses. They will fight to remain there. They will ensure they shut all doors to allow other people to come in there. So that's why we in the media will call it battle. So the word we use because of what's on ground. Even though it's not desirable. But the question is, if you begin to have where people, when they win elections, overnight they become billionaires, then there's no way it won't be a battle. The contestation will always be a battle because what they are going to meet at the end of the day is going to which will better their lives, and then they shut all doors to the rest of Nigerians. So that you can't come in, those who are there, they shut themselves in. So if we begin to, if we continue to have that template, there's no way the contestation will not always be a battle. I want to go in there to serve. That's it. But the question is,
that's what it's supposed to be.
That's it. But the question is, how do I get in there when the person who is there has already shut the door? So we need to break the door so that I can also let people see
that is where the citizens come in, because they are supposed to be the ones breaking the door.
Unfortunately,
that's unfortunately they have what it takes to also buy our conscience.
Charles, the people, the masses, the voters, they have been castrated, they have been handicapped, and they've been so disparaged and then traumatized with so much poverty to contend with. And that's why, very painfully, people still collect small shots of rice.
Yeah, we have a report saying party agents luring voters with 20,000 naira.
That's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money from people.
That's a lot of money.
Fine, it won't take them any far, but at least we feel some immediate holes in their lives. So much that I tried to monitor the campaign in Kogi State. What did we see? You saw that video where our friend was saying that he went to school. He said he read more books than somebody taller than him, and that when it comes to mathematics, he's a better performer. Is that what we make him, a better politician? And people were clapping and cheering them.
The major issues are no longer the focus.
Our campaign grounds now are carnival grounds. So much loud music, so much drama, and little of sense. Points, no manifestos. I remember the Awolowo days, the Azikwe days. They will come prepared.
But it can't go because even today, now everybody's applauding, almost everybody's applauding the governor of Oyo State. It's a PDP state. But what is happening in Oyo, is it replicated in all the PDP states?
No,
so
it's not.
There are no clear-cut agendas.
There are no clear-cut.
Exactly, everybody's doing his own.
All right, we can only hope for the best come Saturday.
We can stop hoping. We should work at it.
Well, who is you?
Olade Ndiario, Charles, gentlemen,
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.